Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retro Reminisce, the show where we look at an older game, see if it holds up, what we like, what we don't like about it, and a little bit of nostalgia sprinkled in there for good measure. My name is Killjoy, and I'm joined by two gentlemen, as always. On my right, Mr. Mark Kitchen. How's it going, good sir?
Hello, good afternoon. I'm good.
You good?
Very well.
That's what we like to hear. And a not so well person, Mr. Fruity. How's it going?
Yeah. That's pretty much my life at the moment.
Just ill.
Just, yeah.
All the work and stress.
It's just a cold. It'll pass.
It's okay.
I sound probably very flat.
I can sing low.
Kind of bassy, yeah.
Yeah. It's alright.
But it'll be okay.
It'll be fine. We'll power through. Well, you will anyway.
I have coffee.
Oh, that's okay. It always helps. Today, we're going to be looking at a little-known game. Pokemon.
A little-known franchise.
A little-known franchise. Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And specifically those three, because each one of us even, played a different game. So I played Silver, you played Gold, Mark, and then Fruity.
To say, this
Crystal.
is a sound-based medium.
Yeah, don't worry, I was on it. I caught you off guard. And Fruity played Crystal. So you played
because I'm way more extra than both of you.
Who gives you extra? Fruity does.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
But these games, they came out originally in 1999 for the Game Boy Color
Damn.
in Japan, but 2001 in
We
Europe.
are old.
We are getting that way. And they are like the original Pokemon games. They are an RPG-based adventure that revolves around you collecting these species of creatures to help you fight in battle and become the best
Surely
champion.
anyone who watches this will know what Pokemon is.
I know,
But
but
surely there's no one watching this who's like, ooh, what's this? Pokemon?
I've not heard
Is that
of
like a
any video
knockoff
games
Digimon?
before. Let's follow this.
Yeah.
well, you can never be too
Say there's
careful.
interactive media?
Yeah. And later on for the DS, there was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which were remakes of Gold
Never got
Silver.
around to playing those.
No, but they sound pretty cool. They came with a little Poke Walker, the little pedometer that you could put Pokemon on and walk with them and stuff. But
Tamagotchi kind of thing.
yeah, this was the sequel to obviously Red, Blue, and Yellow. These games did, as far as I know, fairly well as well.
I'd be surprised if they didn't do well.
Yeah.
Everyone I knew at school had like Gold or Silver.
So pretty good. I mean, this game did fairly well. Got like 89% on game rankings.
It's more of a direct sequel as well compared to the other Pokemon
10 out of 10 on IGN.
series.
So yeah, it did very well. In terms of sales, they did about 6.5 million copies of that was from 2000 at the time, but it's probably done a lot more than that. By 2010, the recorded sales of Gold and Silver were at 23 million units sold. So
Wow.
yeah, did pretty well.
Pretty good.
So without further ado, then let's crack into things that are memories of this. So, Mr. Mark, I believe you only played this for the first time like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as I may have mentioned in our first Pokemon video, I was a staunchly Gen 1 Pokemon fan back in the day and refused to play anything else. I was well aware of each generation coming out. Like, I remember being at school.
I mean, I get that.
Like Gold and Silver coming out, and I remember Ruby and Sapphire coming out and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of tailed off around Gen 4 or 5, really. I wasn't really following it as much then, but so yeah, I didn't play this back in the day at all. I knew people that did. I was not interested in anything other than the original 150.
Not good enough.
Yeah, not the original 150 Pokemon. I'm not
Such
interested.
an elitist.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
I was such an elitist.
I don't care about these garbage bag Pokemon and these chandeliers.
And then
sets of keys.
and then Pokemon Go came out a few years ago. I played that, and that kind of made me play Gen 1 again. And then I was like, maybe I should play Pokemon Silver. And yeah, it was really good. And yeah, I opened myself up to things beyond the original Pokemon. And I really enjoyed it. And then, yeah, so I played Silver, and then recently played Gold, just to mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my kind of
As,
history of Pokemon, really.
as someone who plays Smash, I'm surprised you didn't play it because obviously Pichu was from Gold Silver and he was in Melee.
Yeah,
So.
but Melee's probably the Smash game I played the least. So.
Oh, okay. All the other Pokemon, like there's a lot of Pokemon that got added to the other Smash games that I have no idea because I never played the later
Yeah,
gens. So.
like Lucario and stuff.
Yeah, and then Incineroar and
Yeah,
Greninja and stuff. So cool. Well,
So yeah, I don't have any like back in the day memories of it, but I have memories of playing it a few years ago, and I have memories of when it came out. Like I remember it happening. Like Pokemania was still in full flow. Like,
yeah, man, it was.
It was probably most intense when I was in year 6 when Gen 1 came out. But yeah, it was definitely still like, as you were saying, this sold so well, like insanely well, and like the Pokemon games still do, obviously. So yeah, it was a massive thing at the time, and it wasn't that long after the original game. It was only a couple of years after the original games came out. Gen 1 came out as well, so it was a fairly quick follow-up, I guess. So yeah, they kept the momentum going by releasing games.
So yeah, what, 2-3 years after the original, wasn't it?
And then they've done remakes of Gen 1 and stuff, so yeah, it really kept the momentum going, kept Pokemania going.
yeah, it's always been pretty massive, even though I may have like skipped a bunch of the generations. You still see it even now with the new ones coming out and things like that. You just go, oh bloody hell, like people love it.
I don't know how well, I guess Sun and Moon and stuff still sold as well as older Pokemon games, but
I don't know the sales for them, but I imagine they did. So Mr. Fruity, what are your memories of playing this?
Yeah, it was pretty much just like secondary school, still primary school.
Yeah.
But yeah, like everyone had it. Like everyone had the same like love they did for the first gen. And pretty much all my friends moved on to Gold and Silver, did all the trading, like battling, mystery gifts, stuff like that. You know, I forgot about mystery gifts when we were playing it this time, but we definitely did it back then. Yeah, it was just the same thing. Most of us were still doing Pokemon cards. Most of us were still like, it's just part of Pokemania in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely something as a kid, I think, thinking back on it now, a lot of people that who were into Gen 1 did get Gen 2 because it was just like, hey, it's more of the same, but even more of these crazy creatures, you know.
Yeah, I think there's more of a drop-off afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, when you get to Ruby and Sapphire, there's definitely, like, a sharp decline in, like, just the sheer amount of people I knew who were playing them. I guess there was a decline from Gen 1 to Gen 2, but definitely not as much as, like, from then onwards.
Didn't feel like it as much.
No, there's still, like, people were still watching the TV show, people were still collecting the cards, like, it's pretty much, because obviously we went to secondary school, like, 2001, 2000?
Something like that, yeah.
So, like, then there was, like, a big drop-off. But, like, pretty much my entirety of, like, my primary school, we were still, like, collecting everything Pokemon, basically.
Yeah. That's very true.
Then secondary school happened and there was a sharp decline.
Yeah, like got other things to do. It's weird with this game. So I remember it coming out because my brother got it on Game Boy, and the reason I remember it is because the cartridge was like he got silver and it's like shiny, like shiny sort of sprinkles on it.
Oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, and like I only knew one person who had gold. I think pretty much everyone else I knew had silver. And I'll be honest, I think the animations the Pokemon drawings in silver were better, but I'm massively biased in that. But I remember him getting it and playing through it and seeing all this extra stuff they added. I remember watching him play like on his Game Boy and stuff and going, bloody hell, you can do this now, and you can do this now, and you can do this now. I remember that. I didn't play it because obviously it was his game, so I didn't play it up until he'd finished playing it and moved on to something else. But yeah, I remember watching my brother play it, and he was really into it, and he really liked it, and our friend had gold, and we ended up trading and getting all like the eggs and all the different stuff. And yeah, it was I don't remember so much of it in school and stuff, and I remember at home watching my brother play it and being into it as well. So yeah, for me it was like very much one of those things where it was like we had it, like me and my brother used to play a lot of games anyway, so it was like I'd just sit there and watch him play it and be like, oh look, you've got, I think he started with Chikorita, I think is what he started with way back when, which was cool. So yeah, I remember massively like him having his, because he had a Game Boy Color, but it's one of those see-through plastic ones. So I remember it pretty well. So yeah, in terms of that, I remember we had it, and I remember talking to other people about it. And I think we had a guide as well at one point, showing how to get everything and stuff. We got really invested into it, that's for sure. So
nice.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of the history of us playing it. So start with you then, Mr. Mark. What do you like about this game?
One of the things that sticks out, like one of the first things you pick up on is all the like the small extras, like the phone. Yeah, loads of things, but I'll go through them like individually. So the phone was quite cool. Like you could like befriend someone and then go back to like battle them, but you didn't really go back to battle them. But if they said they'd seen like a rare Pokemon in the area, you're like, okay, well I'll travel back there, and you like have a high chance of encountering that Pokemon. That was quite cool. Holding items as well.
Yes,
like, that's like
super useful.
Just makes it like more interesting, really. Like you can hold something that when you get low health, it will boost your health back up, or you could hold something that powers up your special moves, like your grass type or your fire type or whatever. Which is really handy. Like you pretty much just make every Pokemon hold something. Like there's no reason not to, really.
I like it with the sort of the poison cure berries. So if you get poison, it just instantly heals it. It's so useful.
Yeah, it's like. Because otherwise, I mean, it's not too much effort to use an antidote, but it's so much easier. Just do that, and then it's immediately heals. Like, just the small difference that really makes an impact, I think. Yeah, I've written berries. We were literally just talking about berries, but
berries are so useful in this.
There's like a lot of different ones, and they all have like cool little effects and stuff, and you know when you're going to get one because it's a special type of tree that you go up to get them from that. I like the day and night cycle, so the game knows what time it is, and certain Pokemon come out at night. Even certain evolutions happen at day and night, like Eevee evolves into Espeon in the day, but Umbreon at night. So that was really cool. Like, I didn't play this game back in the day, but back in 2001, I can imagine people were like, "Wow, this is so innovative."
Before, like the internet was really a thing as well, because you have to find that out, and you find it out through playing the game rather than people telling you. Like, oh, you can do this. And you're like, nah, you're bullshitting me, mate. And then you actually go and do it.
You didn't really have like as online guides back then, really as much. Also, like the egg you get at the beginning, like that was just an extra. Obviously, I wanted to play the game and like level up my Pokemon. But there's another thing for me to keep me going. Was like little things like that. It's like, oh, I want to find out what this egg becomes. And then it's like Togepi, and you're like, oh well, it was fun.
Togepi's a weird one.
I did actually use Togepi for a bit, and he does have some cool moves, but...
Get Metronome.
Metronome, that's the main thing I would use.
Moves.
There's probably like some other things in the menu, like tiny little things like that I've not written down that you'll mention, but those were like some of what I call the mini extras and stuff that I really like about this game that improved upon. One thing that seems minor that I really enjoy is the XP bar. Like being able to see in battle, like how close you were to leveling up. So in like Gen 1, you'd have to go into your stats and look at the number. But this was like a visual representation of how close you were. So if you were like really close with like a really weak Pokemon, you would be like, okay, well I'll put them into battle and take them straight out, and then they can level up like really easily. It was really satisfying watching that bar go up every time you won and then you get the little ding. It's such a simple thing, but it's made such a big difference for me, I think. Obviously, new Pokemon. I was always saying earlier how I was like, no.
What is this?
But I think 250 is a good number. The majority is still like the original 150, but you've still got loads. Like you've got nice new ones. You're like, oh, got something new to explore. And also you've got the, I don't know what you call them, the kind of pre-evolutions like Pichu and stuff, like evolve into Gen 1 Pokemon, which is cool as well. Like I'd never really, isn't there something that evolves into Jigglypuff? Like
Igglybuff into Jigglypuff into Wigglytuff.
So I really liked catching some of the new Pokemon. Some of them were like better than others. It was nice because with Gen 1, like I know that game so well. I know all the Pokemon and how like all the types and stuff. Like I knew which ones to avoid and stuff, and there's no sense of mystery in that game to me anymore. So it's nice to play this and be like, well, I don't know how this Pokemon plays, so I'll have to catch it and find out. Oh, okay, it's shit, but at least like I tried it, and then like I would get some other Pokemon and be like, okay, that one's fucking great. Included in that, I really like the new starters. I played Chikorita first time round, which is really good, and this time I played Cyndaquil, which Typhlosion is awesome. Like, I got Typhlosion up to like level 68 or 69 or something, just hard as fuck. I have not played Totodile. I don't know what Totodile's like, but
Yeah, he's got rage, which is such a good move. So.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, rage is a good move.
I would never put the starters above like the original starters, like Charmander, Bulbasaur,
hard.
and Squirtle are like still the
They're kind of
legendary.
the iconic,
they are
aren't
the
they?
iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's never going to be a starters as good as the Gen 1 ones, but I still really like them. One very noticeable thing about this game is that there's less grinding in general. Like, I didn't feel like there were such a relentless number of trainers between towns and between like gyms and stuff as there was in Gen 1. You level up quicker. I mean, obviously I like fighting trainers, but unnecessary number. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, when am I going to get off this boat full of trainers or something like that.
There is that thing in there where like it's actually fun to fight trainers. It's not that fun grinding on wild Pokemon. Because wild Pokemon don't give you half as much XP, and you're just like,
yeah. So yeah, I appreciated that. Another thing I really noticed is they definitely buffed moves like Tail Whip and Growl and all of those
the status moves,
like status moves, because that was a big thing about Gen 1, is that they just weren't worth using. Because if you were going to use Growl to bring your other person's attack down, you might as well have just used 2 attack moves rather than Growl and then an attack move or something. Or a Tail Whip would be a better example, because that brings their defense down. But in this, like, if you use Tail Whip and then start attacking them, like, it does make a difference. It's better than just like swapping one move out or whatever. So yeah, I'm glad they did that.
Yeah,
like,
they definitely
I actually kept those moves in my move selection, because I was like, well, they're really useful, like more so than keeping Tackle or Scratch, when I could replace those with like stronger moves. So
yeah.
The new types are good. Like, everyone knew that like Psychic was overpowered in Gen 1.
It still is overpowered.
Still is a bit, but at least you've got Dark now, which counters that. They needed to do something about it. Steel is really cool, although I didn't get any Steel Pokemon, so I didn't really use it.
Yeah.
There's probably loads more stuff I haven't written down. I'm just going to mention one more thing. I really like the remixes of the Kanto music. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yes,
I
that
just
was
gave
cool.
an extra layer of like to the music. It's like, oh, I recognise this, but it's got a bit of a twist to it. And
Yeah.
it was really good. Really enjoyed that.
I forgot that when you go back to Kanto, when you go like to fight a trainer, or when you fight in the grass Pokemon, wild Pokemon, and even gyms, it plays those versions. I mean, I knew that the place music was the original, like remixes, but I forgot that the trainer music and stuff was like the original, but obviously like remixed version of it. And I was like the fucking nostalgia hit me then. I was like, oh yes, Like, it was really cool. And just because even though I have played this game before, it's been such a long time since I've played through it all the way, and I was like, there was the battle music versus trainers in Kanto, in my opinion, is better than the battle music versus trainers in Johto. So to hear that original theme, like, but just like amped up, was like, this is really cool. So,
yeah, it's not. It's probably other things I've forgotten about, which you guys have mentioned, which always happens. I mean, the graphics are obviously a little bit better than the Gen 1.
Got a little cap on backwards this time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's probably other things, but I've been rambling for a little bit, so I'll let you guys
Yeah,
have
well,
your input.
Chuck over to Mr. Fruity. So you were playing Crystal, so there are going to probably be some differences. But what did you like about this game?
Pretty much most of the stuff that Mark's already touched on, really.
Can you play as a female in that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the first time they introduced it, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I played as a female. Although when I did the battling and trading with you, I had to change back into a man.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's like, no, that's odd. Okay, cool. It's kind of more the same, really, to what he'd said in, like, the Gen 1 Pokemon. What Mark said, really. Like, yeah, graphics are quite nice in Crystal.
Yeah.
You got, like, all the animations and stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, I
like,
forgot they added that.
The Pokemon do when they appear in the battle and stuff. So it makes everything a bit more, like, interactive. The story's a bit more fleshed out, because obviously there's more stuff to do in Crystal. So you got to, like, go to the tower, and you got the extra kind of story elements to it, which kind of makes the game not feel so empty. It's kind of a problem with this game. Well, maybe not so much a problem with this game, but that's one of the things that was a lot better in Crystal, because there was extra content.
Yeah, there's a reason to do.
There's no story to keep
it's still,
you
it's not like
going
it's like a
on.
backhanded compliment, but
Yeah.
there's more in Crystal is what I'm trying to say than
Yeah.
Gold and Silver. Yeah, the Pokemon are cool. The new ones are all good. Like, obviously I played it before, so I know all the Pokemon, but I like the 250. They're all pretty cool.
I can't think of any that are like shit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think
it's
of
more balance as well between all the types.
Yeah.
Like, having fighting type is actually useful in this game rather than Gen 1.
What? I love fighting in Gen 1.
It's got rinsed by everything,
Good
though.
against normal, I think. They couldn't do anything against ghost.
Gen 1 is like, they're good against normal and can do nothing against ghost, but were weak to, like, grass and psychic and, like,
Was it
everything
weak to
else.
poison? I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember. There's
Yeah,
so
there's
much.
so many different types and variants and stuff.
Yeah, there's one thing I really like in this one is it kind of, like, goes into, like, adds everything's a bit more balanced. Like, psychic's not as insanely powerful as it was in Gen 1, which kind of leaves a bit more of a balanced experience.
Yeah. Well, Psychic in Gen 1 is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, like if you get an Abra and go up to Kadabra, and then if you can trade get Alakazam, then like you could pretty much just use Alakazam.
Yeah.
No one can touch.
Yeah, Gen 1 Psychic
Mewtwo.
was so powerful. Like, you
Yeah.
could just rinse anything. It's insane. Really liked going back to Kanto and, like, seeing how everything's moved on in, like,
That
3
time,
years.
yeah, that time thing's really cool.
It's nice seeing, like, a direct sequel. You don't really get that often. I know there's, like, White and Black 1 and 2. But most of the games don't really, like, literally follow on. That's quite cool.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
can see how the world has changed since last time. And there's even stuff in, like, the Johto area with, like, Team Rocket's gone now. And, like, you got the few, like, hanging on Team Rocket people. But, like, everyone's like, oh yeah, Team Rocket's gone now. Like, they were beaten by, like, a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, they've all gone now. Like, I really like the story with the dragon dude as well.
Oh, Lance.
Yeah, like, I like that little subplot with him. Like the Red Gyarados and stuff. It's kind of nice seeing an Elite Four person actually do something in the world.
Yeah, rather than them just being there as a...
And also how the Elite Four is upgraded since Red and Blue as well.
Yeah.
So, like, the different gym leaders have become Elite Four and stuff like that. So, gives it a sense like it's an actual world.
Because that time's passed, hasn't it? So,
Yeah.
it is really cool.
It's probably like a lot of the mechanics and stuff that Mark said. I kind of forgot, like, oh yeah, that's the thing. So I'm so used to having, like,
Much more
way
advanced
more-
mechanics in
yeah.
the later games, yeah.
I'm used to, like, I think it's Ruby and Sapphire and onwards, where it says, like, you click on the move and it'd be like, it's weak to this or it's strong to this.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just so much more, like, information. I'm so used to having, like, knowing if one of my what my moves are strong and weak against.
Yeah, yeah. That'd be so useful.
Yeah, I guess that'd be when we do Gen 3, I guess. I think it came in Gen 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, all the HMs are still there. I'm used to having them as telephone things and sun and moon, so it's kind of weird.
Different, aren't they? Yeah.
It's annoying because in this you still have to put all your HMs onto, like, a Pokemon. So you just have to, like, sacrifice one Pokemon to just being, like, use all the HMs on. It's like, you're the one thing I'm going to carry around because I need these for, like, utility.
Good old normal Pokemon for that.
Yeah, you need, like, a
Keeps it
normal
moving.
and, like, a water one, basically, since they're all pretty much water related. They don't have Dive yet in this one, 'cause that'll be
No.
the next HM.
No, you had like Surf, Whirlpool, and Waterfall though.
Yeah,
We'll get
so it
onto
just
that.
means that your
Yeah.
water Pokemon just has to have all the HMs, basically.
It's like, no!
It's always been a problem.
Gotta love it.
Until they made it, like you said.
Yeah.
You don't need to give it to you.
You can just ring them up, and it's
Yeah.
like, there, this is, oh my god, I don't need to, I can actually have all the Pokemon on my team be Pokemon on my team that I want.
Not have to
No.
delete all their moves to replace them with HMs.
Yeah.
It's always sad, that. It's always sad.
Poor Pokemon.
Yeah, that's, I think that's everything. But I mean, like, the same thing, like the berries, really useful add-on. Being able to hold items, especially like Quick Claw and stuff like that, is also really useful. So you can, like, alter your Pokemon stats.
Yeah.
Make your slow Pokemon always go first with Quick Claw or something like that. Like, it's a really good way
Yeah,
of
those
balancing.
items are really cool.
Like, all the little, like, small things that make the world seem bigger, like when you can give the berries to the milk tank.
Oh, the milk, yeah, you keep feeding the thing.
Berries, and you can get, like,
Milk.
milk from the farm and stuff like that.
Yes, that's really cool.
Like,
Pain in the ass to do, but
ringing up, like you said, like ringing up trainers so you can battle them again, or you can get insight in that area, know if, like, one of the legendary dogs is, like, around the area. But yeah, it's a all pretty interesting, like, add-on, I guess. It seems like it's more of an add-on to Red and Blue than, like, a completely separate game, which is kind of odd. Because I know it's Gen 2, but it's kind of more like Gen 1.5.
It's definitely like this game feels more similar to the original than I think any of the other jumps were. Like I haven't played any of the others, but I would say that because this one has,
they're not connected.
yeah. So
like after this, they're just like completely separate.
Different stories.
Yeah.
Different areas, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, all right. Well, I got plenty of things I can say on this. Obviously, we've been mentioning that there's Kanto and Johto, but yeah, the fact that there are actually 2 areas. I mean, this game is pretty big. Like in terms of you start off in Johto, then you go back to Kanto and things like that, and then you get to see how things have changed and stuff. But it's kind of nuts for a Game Boy game. I mean, there's this whole story around this game that if it wasn't for Iwata, who came in and basically managed to get this game to work, because he was a programming genius, he basically managed to fit both these games onto one cartridge, and it's kind of nuts how they did it. I wouldn't say it's necessarily like perfect, but it's still impressive that you've got two huge worlds to play around in, and going on with that, as I was saying about like how times change, it's really cool going back to Kanto and being like, hey, the Mysterious Forest, not Mysterious Forest, that's the wrong game, the Viridian Forest is like, it's like different. Like the power station is completely different. It's been like overrun with people and like setting up power plant there and stuff. And is it Cinnabar Island? It's like not Cinnabar Island. Yeah, there's like been a volcano eruption.
Cinnabar Island, yeah.
Yeah, like the volcano erupted, so they had to move the gym to the Seafoam Island. Not
Seafoam
Islands. Yeah, it's Seafoam Islands. Yeah, like there's all these really cool changes, and you just think, wow, this is awesome. Like I think when I first played the game, I wasn't sure you go back to Kanto anyway until later on. And when you find out, you're like, that's awesome. And then you get to re-explore this area that has changed. I think that's really cool. It's not just a copy and paste of the original.
Yeah, they've really thought about how the area would change and stuff. Like,
yeah, like you can't go into the safari zone in this one because the guy's gone on holiday. It's just like stuff like that.
So I wonder why.
Yeah,
Almost they're trying to save on space.
Yeah.
Memory,
it's like, he's gone.
Well, you have the bug catching contest instead, don't you? Basically, to like kind of fill that in. But
where you're getting like cipher and stuff.
Yeah. We spoke about like refightable trains and phone numbers. Like I didn't use this until much later on, but it's like it is useful being able to be like.
I used it when I realised that was a good way of getting evolutionary stones.
So you can do that. They'll sometimes call you up when they want to have a refight, and they usually level up a little bit anyway. So they're not as easy as they were the first time, but it's cool. It's just a good way. We're talking about generally how it's much better in this game. If you do need to grind, there are places to go where you can actually fight trainers rather than wild Pokemon. So the SS Aqua, for example, takes you to and from both places, but you can go on it on this 4 days a week, and you can fight different trainers, and they'll always come back, and you can fight them again. Trainer HQ, I think that's what it's called, the Viridian place where you go and you can fight a version of.
Kanto.
Yeah. If I didn't realise, because we traded and I thought we'd fight each other, but it's actually if you do Mystery Gift, that's how it causes to change the dude that's in there. Most of the music in the game is pretty good. I mean, there's only one piece of music I don't particularly like, but other than that, I'd say like most of it's good. I think the original games, the music's a bit more memorable, but that might just be because I have like super nostalgia for a lot of it. But there are some good tracks in this game. Obviously, the remixes of the old stuff's good as well. I think it makes a big difference because obviously the battle music you're going to be hearing a lot, so it's got to be fairly catchy at least to be able to listen to a lot. I think the gym music's all right. I don't think the gym battle leader music's alright. It's not that great. The original one's much better, I think. Yeah, we said about the Pokemon as well. Most of the designs now are memorable, like Sudowoodo, all the starters. There's just a ton of them where you go, oh yeah, so like Miltank, Girafarig. There's plenty in there that are like, you sort of see them go, they look really weird, but kind of cool. We spoke about Dark and Steel as well, so that's, again, talking about that, like, good additions to the game. Something that I personally liked was you get the bike fairly early on. I think you have to buy Goldenrod, which is like the third place you go to.
Yeah, I was happy about that. Like Gen 1 took a bit longer and just walking everywhere is a ball ache. But yeah, just having the bike is great. And then like you don't have to pay for it in the end because you're like, great, you brought me all this thing, have the bike for free. But I do like the fact that it's only third or fourth town, but you get there fairly quickly. You get the bike and it's like cool. You don't have to trudging around on foot anymore. So yeah, I mean most of this stuff we've already covered between the three of us. I think of the things that I like about it.
Get the running shoes.
Yeah, running shoes. Before we move on to dislikes, I want to ask you guys what you ended up having. What was your final 6 Pokemon? I'll start with you, Mr. Mark. What were the 6 Pokemon you had? Like, I suppose when you fought the Elite Four.
Espeon, Typhlosion, Gyarados, Weeping Bell. I think I had Pidgeot.
Yeah.
And Tentacruel.
Wow, that's a.
I'll explain why I had Tentacruel in a minute.
Yeah, probably HMs.
Yeah.
Mr. Fruity, I remember 1 or 2 of your Pokemon, but.
That's a very good question. Which Pokemon did I have?
You had Grunball.
Yeah, Grumble, Growlithe. I had a Persian.
Yeah.
I was trying to go for all like
Dog.
dogs, but there wasn't really enough
Did you have
dogs.
a Houndoom? Houndour, or whatever they're called?
Nah,
Maybe that might be
already,
Silver, I can't remember.
I already had a Growlithe.
Uh,
The Grumble was like my MVP,
yeah. Bite.
pretty much.
Bite.
It's just so strong. And also, because I couldn't get a stone to evolve my Growlithe for fucking ages.
Yeah, I remember this. You did have an Arcanine in the end, though, didn't you?
Yeah. But like, yeah, so Grumble, Persian. Persian was good because I could use like ice attacks.
Yeah.
And then obviously Growlithe
Did you have a
is
Butterfree?
fire. I had one for a while, but like most bug Pokemon, it doesn't scale well after like level 30 or so.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember if you...
So yeah, I had Butterfree to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're like the three main Pokemon I used. Like obviously got like the Machamp.
Oh, you had Meganinium, what
Yeah,
the fuck
yeah.
thing?
Meganium.
Meganium, there we go.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce
I think
it.
I got one. I can't remember because I
think you
kind
got
of got rid of that Pokemon pretty quick. Because I was like, I'm not gonna have one of the starters. So I'm gonna like make my own team of like Pokemon. So yeah, it's basically just those three, and then the rest were like HM
Interchangeable.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever HMs I needed at the time.
So, I had, by the end of the game, a Steelix, I think, which was my highest level one, which is a really good Pokemon. It had, like, insane defense, but had terrible attacks. So it was just like, ugh.
That's kind of like the whole Onyx.
I know,
rock
I
type
was just like,
thing.
why? But, so I had a Steelix.
It's like Golem as well.
So, yeah, Steelix and a Croconaw, Machamp, Ampharos, Pidgeot, and Furret. I forgot that my Furret had Surf. That's why I kept it on me for so long. Missing out on here with the other two Pokemon that I was using but didn't end up using was Snorlax, because I ended up having one of those. Because that
Snorlax
thing
is great.
Couldn't
fucking
catch
insane.
him.
I got him. I saved it before and spent my time doing it. And I want to say Raticate, but I can't remember. There was at least one other Pokemon that I had that I was kind of using, but those are the main ones. My Machamp, Croconaw, Steelix were kind of like my main ones in the end of that.
Makes sense. Fighting is great in this game.
Yeah, he had. Is it Seismic Toss? No, one Seismic Toss. It was like another
It's good
move.
against Psychic.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so good against the Elite Four and stuff. It's like, I think it's good against Poison as well.
There was a move like Precision something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was just insane how much damage it did. So it was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. But yeah, like I quite liked my little team. It didn't fight against everything particularly well, but by the end of the game I was pretty happy.
But I never go for like a super like balanced team or like super like as long as I've got like most moves covered. Like I don't really go
Yeah.
for like
Yeah, I tried to
mid
have a little
maxi.
bit.
Like I kind of go for like the Pokemon I want to have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Steelix. I was like, I want a Steelix as like my
Normally
main
the
things.
cute ones.
But
For me, it's always the cute ones.
what do you mean Steelix is lovely? Pidgeot's probably Pidgeot and Machamp are the only two like Gen ones I had. Ones I had. Pidgeot's just obviously because of fly. Like,
Yeah.
fly is super useful. And then
Pidgeot's
Yeah.
pretty strong as well, I guess. Like,
later on it does. It's not. I mean, scaling wise, it's okay, but it's also a normal Pokemon. And the same with Furret. Like Furret was great. It was like got that, leveled him up from his Sentret into the Furret, and then
is Feraligatr not in your thing, or is that the second you
that's the
used?
second one.
Oh,
Croconaw
right.
was the final
Oh,
one.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just wondered what that was like. So
Yeah,
there's our Pokemon teams, very different, all very different, which is what I like.
Yeah.
I love the fact that people have personal favourites. What I was trying to get, and I couldn't get
It's
the bloody thing, was a
same when we did.
Pineco.
Oh yeah.
Spent so much time headbutting trees to try and find a Pineco, and I couldn't get one. God damn it! So
Kind of similar to our red and blue one as well. We had like very different teams.
yeah, because a lot of the time when I catch Pokemon early on, they're usually ones I stick with.
Because you put so much time
Into them.
It's also
Yeah.
just more efficient as well.
Yeah.
There's one of the problems I had in this game is I kept like changing my team. There's like so many Pokemon that were like all like between like level 30 and 50. So
Yeah,
if I
I'm a lot.
focused all this experience onto like 3 or 4 Pokemon, they'd all be like really high leveled.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's move on to things we didn't like about this game. I think one thing that's going to come up is going to be HMs. But Mr. Mark, we'll start with you again then. What don't you like about this game?
Oh, hey gems. There's just too many of them. I mean, primarily too many water ones. Why is there the need to differentiate
It's
between
only gonna get worse.
waterfall and
Whirlpool.
whirlpool? Why do you
surf,
need two
yeah.
different things for two slightly different animations?
Just wait until Ruby and Sapphire when you have dive as well.
Oh god, why? Why?
Which then you have 5 water HMs, so you need to have like 2 water Pokemon to have like all the HMs.
So unnecessary. So that's why I had to water Pokemon, because like I didn't want to give everything to Gyarados, so I ended up giving him Surf and something else.
So I hope you didn't give him Whirlpool. I learned the hard way. Whirlpool is shit.
I gave him Waterfall.
I don't know what Whirlpool. I don't know if that's a good move
I
or not.
think.
Whirlpool's
I
a
think
terrible move.
Surf is the best one.
But
though.
then yeah,
Out of the three.
I didn't want to duplicate types of Pokemon. I wanted to have like a quite well balanced team, but because of the HMs, I had to have 2 water Pokemon, and one of them was Tentacruel at a really low level. He was like level 30 something when I was at the end of the game, where
Yeah.
my rest of my Pokemon were like 50 odd or something.
Yeah.
Because I just have to have these bloody HMs that I don't really want.
You could have
It's the
taken a
pain.
normal Pokemon with you, because a lot of normal Pokemon. And the weirdest thing I noticed in this game is certain Pokemon that are a certain type can't learn certain moves, but then like a normal Pokemon or something else can. Like I can't remember what it was.
Normal can learn most like TMs.
Yeah, but there was like an electric type or a water type, and it couldn't learn like X move, and I was like, what?
There are random ones
Yeah.
like Staryu and Starmie can learn like Thunderbolt,
Yeah,
which is weird because they're like water.
yeah. But
So yeah, that was annoying. The Elite Four was insanely grindy for me. I don't know whether this was because I didn't have many dark moves, so I found the psychic Pokemon really
Oh,
hard.
fucking
And like
hell.
the first person is the psychic person with like Xatu and
Yeah,
Jinx.
Yeah.
And I can't
All
remember
the
the
other
others.
bloody-
Jinx is hard with the ice
Yeah.
as well.
And I just kept getting dicked. Like if I
Yeah.
got past the first one, I'd do the next 2 all right.
Yeah.
Because they were so much easier than the first one, which is weird. But yeah, I just found that a way lower level than any of their Pokemon when I got there. I'd managed to complete the game, like do the badges and stuff fairly well, and I was like, and then there was this huge jump, and I was like, yeah, you expect some grinding to do like the biggest thing in the game, but like I spent fucking hours on it.
Yeah.
It felt like I'd spent about a third of my time playing the game, like grinding to do the Elite Four.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is
Yeah,
that's
you're not the
Massive
only one you had
difficulty
that
spike,
problem.
isn't it? It's
That's-
just
Yeah.
huge.
That's just seemed really unbalanced. I
Yeah.
started forgetting what happened in the rest of the game because all I'd been doing was grinding to do the Elite Four,
Yeah.
and I was like,
It's the problem
yeah.
there's just a massive. I think it's
happens
because
3
they
times
had to
every
try
time.
and balance it out with like 16 gyms.
Yeah.
They were like trying to balance everything out, but like you level up so slowly, and all the enemies you fight are so low level. And when you about to do the Elite Four, like, because in like Red and Blue, before you do Elite Four, like the Pokemon you're training against are like in their 50s
You
or
got
so.
Victory Road's actually good then.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like you can actually like grind pretty quickly to
Yeah.
fake the Elite Four, but in this, like, gap between the wild Pokemon and the Elite Four is so big, especially when you like the gap between your wild Pokemon and Red as well. What am I going to do? These like Pokemon are like 30 levels weaker.
Did you have the same problem I had, where it was like the only things I'd run into was like a Golem that would keep self-destructing, a
Yeah,
Golbat
that's
that
annoying.
confused me, and an
Yeah.
Onyx.
Yeah.
And a Rhyhorn occasionally, and that was all I would fight. And I was like, one blows itself up, one confuses me, and then like the other two just take forever to
But
kill.
also, like, you got no real return because they're so much weaker than you.
Yeah,
So
it
you
was
like
so
go-
much better to just play the Elite Four and lose against them, but still get the XP from
Yeah.
beating
Yeah.
some of the Pokemon and then
It's
starting again.
weird, like-
Even though you lose all your money if you lose against the
Yeah.
thing.
Like
Um,
the curve of like level in this game is so weird. Like the gyms and stuff.
I found it
And, like the
happens.
wild Pokemon, it's just so they're so weak.
For me, there was 3 points in this game where that kind of happened. When you get to the Steel Gym, if you don't have a Pokemon that's good against that Steelix, you're going to be there fucking wailing on it for a while. Second time is Elite Four, and then lastly is Red. Like, the difference between you fighting the gyms and then Red, and you see what is low, is like, it suddenly goes like from, yeah, you're doing alright, and then suddenly it's like almost like, what, they're 10, 15 levels higher, and you're just like, well, I've got nothing to fight against. Like, there's actually, that's
It's
why
like,
I
if
like
you're not training against like your friends or
Yeah.
like
fighting
doing the battle
trainers.
tower or doing like it literally takes like 30 hours or so of grinding to like beat Red.
Yeah,
Like I managed to get like
not
4 or
even worth
5
it.
Pokemon into Red,
yeah.
but like it's so hard. Like his Pokemon is so strong. Like Charizard and Snorlax and
This
devastate you.
this point about the Elite Four kind of leads into my next point, which
Yeah.
is that like as much as I liked the idea of going back to Kanto and how things had changed and the remixes and stuff, because I did so much grinding to beat the Elite Four, I felt kind of done with this game after that.
Sure, yeah.
And like I liked the idea of going back to Kanto, and it was cool that everything had changed, but I was just like, I couldn't really be bothered to do all the gyms and stuff because
Yeah.
I was like, this is like doing a whole nother game, and I was like, I'm kind of done with Pokemon now. I kind of want to go back to playing other games that I'm playing.
Yeah.
And I didn't even do red. I was like, fuck it. Like
It's not worth it.
once I'd done all the gyms, I was like, fuck
Red
this. I
is
can't
so
be bothered.
ridiculously hard.
Red's just not worth the time and effort.
But I
So-
guess Kanto in this game is just bonus. Like the main game is beating the Elite Four.
Well, you get
and
the credits
Johto.
after you do it, so
Yeah.
it's like
Kanto is bonus material anyway.
Main problem with Kanto as well is it's so like barren.
it's so empty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so
There's
empty.
like no
You
trainers.
could tell they were running out of
there's-
time or something.
Cinnabar Islands, there's no that like research place.
Yeah.
Because there's no gym.
No
like
burnt out building.
Gary now being in charge of like the
Meridian City.
yeah,
Yeah.
of like what used to be Team Rocket and stuff. Because that's all gone and like it is pretty barren.
Mm.
Like there's no safari zone. Like even like a lot of like the paths and stuff are like a lot emptier as well.
And shorter, some of them, yeah.
Yeah, it's I can see why they wanted to do it, but I really feel like this game would have improved if they just did everything in Johto,
Yeah.
and then you could actually make a difficulty curve that kind of made sense, rather than
Especially the first couple gyms, because they're really easy.
yeah.
Like, you just blitz through them and you hit like Mill Tank and you're like, oh Jesus. And
It's
then
like you get to
the
like
speed
level 40 by the time you do like the Elite Four, and then it's like, oh yeah, by the way, there's like all these other gyms, but like they're not that much higher in level anyway, and
Yeah.
like
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
weird. It's
It is
odd.
odd.
The other thing that I didn't get any of, well, I got some through being given them, but couldn't seek out the ones I want, was stones.
Oh, you should talk to Fruity on this
Like,
one.
yeah.
Holy shit.
I had-
There are only 3 ways of getting stones in this game, rather than like in the O game where you could just buy them from a shop. In this game, you can get them from Mystery Gift when you connect 2 Game Boys together and do the Mystery Gift, and you can randomly get one.
But there was no chance of me getting that.
No.
then.
No.
You can get them from certain trainers. There's one trainer for each stone who you keep ringing them, and eventually they'll ring you up and say like, I found something, and you go over there, they'll give you like a stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as one of the bug collectors gives you the Firestone, and then the other way of doing it is to go to
Bill's house.
Bill's dad. You'll ask to see one of like each type that needs to a stone to evolve, and then he'll give you a set of them, but it's only like one of
One.
each,
Yeah.
so you only get one from doing that. And you have to like get all the Pokemon, which are really hard to get.
Yeah, Licky Tongue.
It's not just like easy ones,
Yeah, so I had.
and that's like the only ways you can do it. It's so stupid. I was like, that's why I had a Growlithe for so long.
Yeah.
Is that I can't get an Arcanine because it's so hard to get stones in this game. I don't know why.
I had Weepinbell and like it was a bit weak in certain areas. Like
Yeah.
the special was really good, but like has some other weaknesses. And I was like, oh, like it'll be fine. I'll get a Victory Bell once I get it. And like I didn't realize, because the Pokemon that used to evolve normally now require stones. There are more Pokemon that require stones. Like you used to be able to evolve Weepinbell into Victory Bell and Gloom into Vileplume just from leveling up.
Yeah.
But then they added that as like a stone thing, and there's
Yeah.
loads of other Pokemon they did it with, or several other Pokemon at least.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so I didn't realize. I was like, okay, this level now is definitely doesn't evolve from just like playing and leveling up. I was like, okay, it's fine. I'll come across a stone, and I didn't. And it was just like shit being at the end of the game and being like, I've got Weepinbell in my in my main. I don't have the final evolution in my team.
I don't understand because like
You don't have Bellsprout though, so it's always good.
Yeah.
it's really weird as well because they give you like more options to trade and evolve Pokemon.
Yeah.
So you get like the Royal Rock or whatever it is to get Slow King.
Oh yeah, and the Kingler, not Kingler, whatever crabby thing. Is it crabby?
Yeah, so you got like the 2 different ones. You got like the Steel Pokemon. You get like, the Steel Coating for
Yeah.
Steelix and
Good.
Cypher Sizzlor.
Caesar, yeah.
Yeah. So you got like more things to trade.
Yeah.
And they get given all the items to trade evolve, but you just don't get stones. Like I don't know why I don't know if they wanted to like, I don't know, I just can't understand their reasoning behind that.
When I went back to Kanto, like I was like, oh great, there's that town with the massive mart where you could buy them.
Yeah,
You could buy them in the first game, and then I went in there in this game and I was like, okay, they don't sell them anymore. Like this is annoying.
I don't understand that. Were they trying to like make people use like
Right.
Espeon and Umbreon,
Yeah.
and like trying to make people use like non-stone evolutions, like incentivize using the new Pokemon? Like I can't work out
Well-
why they'd make stone so hard to get.
They must have been doing something more with trade, because Mystery Gift, you can do it 5 times a day. with different people, but I can't remember the
But
odds.
it's always
of getting...
random.
Yes, I mean I can't remember
Like
the
there's
odds.
no guaranteed way of getting a stone. Yeah, you can keep flying around, and every time you fly somewhere, there's a chance of someone ringing you up. So if you only have the one Pokemon trainer that gives you the water stone, say, you can keep flying to places, and eventually they'll keep ringing you, and eventually randomly they'll be like, I've got something for you, and you go over and you're like, oh, thanks, a water stone. I don't know why they made it so hard. It seems like when they try to make people use the phones more, trying to make people not use like Jolteon and stuff and use like Espeon and Umbreon. Like I don't understand why they'd make stones so difficult to use.
It just reminded me though, because like obviously in this game, like the first one, there's like a glitch where you can dupe the Pokemon. If it's holding an item, you get it. And I was like, I don't remember ever having a problem with stones, and I was thinking, oh, maybe back in the day when we played it, we probably ended up like duplicating stones and shit through Pokemon, because you can just basically put the Pokemon in the box. If it's holding something, turn off the power thing when it's saving, and then you load it back up. You'll have one in carrying the item, and then one in the box with the item. So I don't remember this ever being a problem, but it was such a long time ago.
we used to duplicate a lot of stuff, but also because there were so many of us with the game as well, we did use Mystery Gift a lot.
Yeah, so you probably had higher chance of getting things, but yeah, I know what you mean.
So when there's like
weird.
5 or 6 of you with the game, like you can use a lot of Mystery Gifts. This is really annoying. I don't know why they decided to make stones super rare.
Yeah, very odd.
I think that's most of my negatives. Maybe you guys will come up with some more stuff that I agree with. I don't know if anyone has any more points to make.
Oh yeah, Mr. Fruity. You got anything else you'd like to?
Most of the stuff we already covered. Like I find like the level design of this game and like the curve of like Pokemon levels just really bizarre. Like wild Pokemon are just like almost pointless to fight. Trainers are kind of like useful until you get to like the actual big bosses, and then it's like, well, there's no point even fighting trainers if I'm trying to train for the Elite Four because they're just so much stronger. It's like Red, like I literally spent like 30 hours trying to grind in that area. It's like, oh, this is the area of really strong Pokemon. It's like they're not that high leveled. That you're better off just grinding against Red. Then it's just like, it's so disheartening when you're just like constantly getting crushed.
Yeah.
It's like there's no good place to train in this game. I just don't know why the wild Pokemon are so weak. It's like I feel like they made an error with like trying to pace out the levels of the game.
Yeah, it definitely is wonky.
So when you go around Kanto and stuff, it's like really easy as well. And then it's not like oh crap, you actually have to do like the hard stuff now. This is gonna be really hard now because like Red is just so insanely strong.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers actually how much like effort you have to put into doing Red.
Yeah. Like all the HMs and stuff which already covered.
Yeah.
Stones is also one of my biggest annoyances. It's mainly, it's just like how barren Kanto feels as well. I think when I was looking, like when I was going to download it, I did look at Soul and Heart.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of stuff to like add to the game.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's ambitious, but I feel like it would have been so much better if they just stayed in Johto. Just tried to make more of a narrative. Because the narrative's really good and stuff. Like, God, I forgot his name again, the Dragon Man.
Lance.
Hey, Lance. I always want to say Ace for some reason, I don't know why.
Ace.
Yeah, like Lance. And then you got like the Pokemon, like the Steel Gym. With like her being in like the lighthouse with the sick Pokemon,
Yeah.
so you have to go over, fight the other one, then come back and then do her badge. Like it feels like a very interwoven world, and like characters move around and like things progress.
Yeah.
Like everything in Johto feels much more like planned, and then you get to like the end of Johto, and it's like wander around Kanto. There's no real like order.
It's cool when you meet Blue/Gary because
You go
like
to like the yeah,
because he's kind of like, hey, look, you know, he's like pissed off, and then you like, it's like, yeah, I'll fight you at the gym and all this stuff, and you get to like talk to him, and that's kind of cool. But
like a lot of it's just like there's no like thing where you go to like the grass gym or like the psychic or there's no real
gym.
like stuff going on there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit with like the poison gym where it's like,
This
oh
is
yeah,
his
I'm in
daughter.
charge now because like my dad's in the Elite Four, but it's like there's no like missions, and there's a bit like getting the power back on in like the
Yeah, to get
power
the train
station,
running, but that's about it, isn't it? Yeah.
but like, there's no like
Can't even go to the cave where Mewtwo was.
yeah, like it felt like so much story and like people and stuff in Johto. Then Kanto's just really like bare bones.
I think it's there so you can catch certain Pokemon that aren't in Johto. Like I think there's a lot of areas you can go to and be like, oh, I can catch X, Y, and Z now while I'm over there and stuff. But it does have that emptiness to it.
They started developing it as Johto only.
Yeah.
And then probably some high up person was like, nah, like the other game's so really well. So nostalgia, it's like a couple of years later.
Yeah, people like the first game.
Yeah, like I feel like someone was like, no, the kids love like Red and Blue. You have to like include that somehow. And they were just like,
and they did it.
Tack it on the end.
They did it.
Like it doesn't feel like it's part of the same like
it's very
game.
Much,
it's very odd.
It's very much like end game content. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it is meant. It's just meant to be bonus content, isn't it?
Like it doesn't have.
I think if they fleshed out the story too much, then it would have felt like it was. I do agree with Dave, but like at the same time, also it's like.
I liked it. I liked it being there. But maybe there's things they could have done to make it just feel a bit more, a bit more effort to do.
What are your gripes?
Most of the same stuff. I've got a few other ones that are a little bit different. Obviously, we talk about difficulty spikes because that happens here. Mount Silver, which is the area before you fight Red, is horrendous because you can't use repels in there because it doesn't matter.
No, yeah.
It's a very slow area and it is crap for grinding. It's not great at all.
That's because to get to Red, you have to go up the waterfall and like go around.
Is horrendous. Like Mount Silver is not a good area. Beating Red, which out of the three of us, Sunday only did it. I fucking persevered and did it.
I actually deleted my save.
I know.
So I was wasting.
Like that 30
It's
hours.
so weird because it's like the first 15 hours or so was like me having fun in Johto.
Yeah.
And then like the next like 15, 20 hours. It's just me just pointlessly grinding just to beat these things. So I was like, why am I wasting so much time?
Yeah.
Why am I like leveling up these like fighting Pokemon and stuff? I don't even want to be in my team in the first place just to beat Red.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I need to delete this. I'm just wasting too much time.
The thing is, when you beat Red, as soon as you beat him, you come out of the battle, he goes ... and then it goes straight to the credits. There's literally no good reason to fight Red. It is like the most disappointing ending. You're like, yeah, I've beaten him, and then it's just like credits, and you're like, oh, didn't get anything for it.
He doesn't even like speak, does he?
No, doesn't speak at all. So
I find so weird. So because he's like a silent protagonist in the first game, but like
so.
I assumed he was a silent protagonist because like you were meant to self-insert onto him. Doesn't mean that he's not like a person in real life.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird, and for sure, but it's not worth it, to be honest. I absolutely was just like, this is absolute shit. Something that we haven't properly talked about, but is probably the biggest problem was with Gen 1, and is with this game, is the move Psychic is still really, really broken. To the point where, like, even I was using Pokemon that were, which were, it'd be weak against, would be not very effective against, was still taking so much damage.
That was why Elite Four took so long, because of the fucking Psychic.
Psychic is always
I just kept using it over
broken.
and over again. It was like, oh.
I think it's better than Gen 1.
It's like one-shotting all of my Pokemon.
Psychic has always been a broken type.
Because I think I don't know if it was Steelix or someone I was using, it might be Machamp actually, and it shouldn't have been. It was like, it's not very effective, and it was still taking out maybe a quarter of my life, and I'm like, what? It's a genuine problem where it takes away a lot of the fun for the game for me, because it's just knowing that like it doesn't matter what you use, you're still going to get absolutely rinsed because this move is just too powerful. And I don't know whether this gets fixed in the later games. I have no idea. It is a genuine problem. The fact that if you go against something that's got Psychic, it's just like, ugh! It's like, god damn it! Like,
so it gets better in the later games.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think that's pretty much the only things I can add to it. We've already talked about the stones and stuff. It wasn't really an issue for me because I didn't have any Pokemon that I wanted to evolve with a stone. But yeah, I think you can get moonstones from different throughout the overworld. I think it's a bit easier to get them.
No,
you can get moonstones in the story.
I got a couple of those, but I had no one to use them on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh well, give me the ones I don't need.
Yeah, I got an Everstone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much all the things that I don't like, apart from the same stuff as you guys. All right, well let's finish it off as we always do then. Starting with you, Mr. Mark. Do you think this game holds up, and would you recommend it to someone? That's a good
Should have
question.
thought about this before we recorded this. I mean, it's difficult for me to say because I've not played any later Pokemon games.
Sure.
I've not played Gen 3, 4, and they're old now.
Yeah.
Let alone the newer ones. I have to assume that there are vast improvements on later games that people coming back to this would be like, holy shit. So, as someone this is their most recent Pokemon game, still fairly enjoyable.
Yeah.
But if you're younger than me and you grew up playing like X and Y and Sun and Moon and stuff,
Yeah.
then you probably don't want to play this because you'll be frustrated. You'll find the music is too beepy because you're not used to like old music. The graphics are going to be like far too retro compared to like newer Pokemon games, and there's probably just going to be a whole load of mechanics that you're going to be incredibly fed up with. I enjoy playing it. I still think like the top-down kind of RPG is still timeless for me.
Yeah.
Like I could go back and play Chrono Trigger and be like, this is a great game, and like Final Fantasy VI and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, there are frustrating things about it. It probably does not compare to modern Pokemon games, but if you want to play something that doesn't have all like a ridiculous number of Pokemon and you just want to go back to basics, so does it hold up?
That was a good question.
Not if you've played later games. If you want to have some fun with an old RPG, I reckon it's still playable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a fairly good answer.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Fruit's gonna have a different one because you're the only one out of three of us have played some of the later Pokemon games, so you know.
Oh, the late ones are way better.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we
Right,
go.
I'm really looking forward to doing Gem 3.
Yeah.
Like Ruby and Sapphire were like that's still like one of my favourites.
Yeah.
So like I'm really looking forward to doing that. I think that's also when you get like the running shoes and stuff as well. Yeah, like I haven't played Soul and Heart.
Yeah.
So maybe the remakes, they seem to be like put in a lot more content.
Yes.
And
There's a lot
like
of
they
changes.
seem to change like a lot of things.
Yeah, maybe I should
So-
play those.
Even though I haven't played those, I'd probably recommend playing those over this. Kind of like how Fire Red and Leaf Green were just such a really nice,
Yeah.
up-to-date version of
Nice
like
and colourful.
the old school. Yeah,
Mm.
they tweak little things, make everything like slightly better. So yeah, I'd probably recommend the remakes.
Yeah.
But these games are alright. Like, I just wouldn't really bother doing like the Elite Four and trying to beat Red and stuff. Like, just don't bother. Just do like the Johto bit. I was having fun at the beginning, but after the first like 15 hours, it's just grind.
little bit.
It's just grind.
What about you, Levi?
I mean, this is. I never played any Pokemon game past Silver and Gold, so for me, I was actually having a whale of a time. I would definitely say that there are the negative of fighting Red and even the Elite Four and stuff, but there's a lot in this game that I think it does right.
Problem is, so much of it's tainted. I think we've all said the same thing. Where like looking back on it, I'm just like, oh god, it's so grindy and like
Yeah.
so annoying. But actually, the beginning of the game was really fun. Like I was enjoying it up until the point of like the Elite Four, which I'm actually Elite Four okay.
Yeah, everything.
But
before
after that,
was-
it just went downhill so fast.
everything before Elite Four was great. really.
Yeah. So I say just do up to the Elite Four. It's really fun.
So I'm probably a bit more positive on it because I was having an absolute whale of a time catching Pokemon. Like obviously the namesake. Normally I don't bother trying to get that many, but I was like, because I'd forgotten about a lot of the newer ones. So I was having a whale of a time getting them. Then I go back to Kanto and I could get some of the older ones and stuff. Like, I think in terms of like if you want to play this game and to collect all the Pokemon or at least get the ones you can in your version, it's actually pretty fun. Like I was having a great time. One other thing we didn't touch on, but it is part of the game, is if you go to the ruins of Alph where like unknown spawn, if you spawn all the unknown, you actually get a separate Pokedex and you have to try and collect all the unknown as well. So there's a lot of stuff in this game that you can do if you want to collect all the Pokemon, you want to collect all the unknown, you want to do all these other little bits and bobs. Like I actually think there's the jump between Red and Blue and this, like the amount of things added is actually kind of nuts.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the radio. There's a radio in there as well.
I didn't mention the Bank of Mum either, where you can
Yeah.
like give her your money and then she'll
Sort of buy stuff for
save
you.
it, and it gains like it seems to. Yeah.
Yeah, and she'll
Well,
buy
that
items.
You get all
Yeah,
Nessie
yeah.
or Snails or whatever it is. But I mean, overall, I would say that this game holds up to a point. If you want to play a retro,
Still think I'm just messed up because of like I'm just used to playing the newer ones.
yeah. But I mean, I'd recommend playing this over Red and Blue, and the reason for that is because there's still things that this game does better.
Oh yeah.
But like you said, probably play the remakes.
I think the remake is probably what you want to
Yeah.
do.
I think I would agree with that. I think if you want to play the original
Especially
Game Boy
if
game,
you're just picking it up for the first time.
yeah.
It could be hard to go back to
I think
older
if
games.
I would say this, if you want to play like the original game, definitely do it. Just be prepared to have to put time into grind. If that sounds pretty horrendous, and just enjoy like the first part of the game and seeing all the Pokemon and the things you get to do. I don't think it's a bad game. It's probably not the best Pokemon game, but for me, I'm massively biased and I really enjoyed replaying this. But Red and a lot of Kanto is kind of a bit just kind of like empty. But there is some good music there, which is kind of a nice bonus if you want to, you know. Except for Route 3, they kind of... I'm not sure how I feel about the remakes of Route 3 in this, but yeah, play the remakes probably first, and if you still want to play the original, play it, but be prepared to hit some slight difficulty spikes and have to grind. So that's kind of how I feel about it. I think that's everything. I think we've...
that was a good discussion, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, Pokemon's always... It seems to be the one game, a lot of like easier RPGs that people like to play and whatnot.
I feel like we all had quite an equal input. Everyone, you know, I think everyone's got a...
Well, it's a big game. You kind of needs to come with a lot of knowledge and stuff, but...
we're also the right generation to talk about Pokemon.
Yeah, because we grew up on Gen 1 and we can, even if we haven't played that many of the later ones, we
being
can
born
see
in like the early 90s to like late 80s.
yeah.
It's definitely like the ideal time to be talking about Pokemon.
But it'll be interesting to do the next set, because again, I've never played any, Mark's never played any, and obviously Fruity has. So
might be a while before we do
played them all except for Black and White, I believe.
Yeah. So it'd be cool to jump into something like that, because like I've never had any interest to play any others.
I do now.
yeah. The ones after what's the one after Ruby and Emerald?
Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald,
Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, so Diamond and Pearl I'm looking forward to, so we can hear Route 209. But
in context.
In context, yeah.
What's the other one? Diamond, Pearl, and
Platinum and White.
Oh, I know the third game.
Platinum.
Oh, Platinum, that was it. Yeah.
Black and White.
Black and White 2.
Oh yeah.
No, it's X and Y, isn't it? Then Black and White.
Well, Black and White, and X and Y was the first 3DS one, wasn't it?
The 3DS one.
I don't know. I know I played X and Y. I haven't played Black and White.
X and Y have sequels?
No, it was Sun and Moon after that, I think, and then Ultra Sun,
Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon.
So and then the remakes of all the other ones. So
no, Sword and Shield.
So I look forward to doing that for sure. But as always, thank you very much for listening and or watching this. If you like this video, hit like, subscribe if you want to see more of this content.
Yeah.
Because doing these retros are like the best thing in the world. It's always funny. So and obviously feel free to comment down below and tell us what you think of these games. Do you think other Pokemon games are better? Do you think we're being a bit too harsh? Not harsh enough? All that stuff in the comment section. Obviously links as well to the Facebook and Twitter that will be down there, which is constantly updating as well with more information and stuff. But until next video, it's going to be goodbye from me, and it's going to be goodbye from these two.
Bye.
Goodbye.